if you all are keeping up with the news, Trump today, just today, has released his nominee for the Supreme Court. Her name is Amy Coney Barrett. People are calling her ACB. I don't know. It's a nice meme. Republicans love doing this. It's like when the Democrats tried to field like a former Republican to try to take on AOC this election cycle for her for the Democratic nomination for her seat. I think it's New York 16, if I remember correctly. Anyways, it was like another Hispanic woman with the same like hyphenated last name. It was basically like Dark World AOC that they tried to put up against her, and she lost. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Amy Coney Barrett will not be fighting, neither physically nor metaphorically. Sadly, even though that would be fun to watch. I heard that RBG was a black belt, but sadly that will not be happening, and RBG is dead. But as this is happening, the liberals are going mad. They're going crazy. They are being infected with mad liberal disease, and their minds are being blown all over the internet. They're blaming many people. Many people are being blamed. They're pointing the fingers at everyone. Maybe it's Bernie's fault, you know. Maybe it's McConnell's fault, you know. Maybe it's who knows. Maybe it's like Tucker Carlson's fault. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's freaking Mexico's fault. I have no clue who it could be. But it's definitely not Hillary Clinton, and it's definitely not the and it's definitely not the Democratic establishment. But they have a new finger to point at another person, or a group of people, and it's the people who voted for Jill Stein. And let's take a look at what Bill Maher had to say. I'm telling you, if you're a little bit sensitive, this is going to be a freaking doozy, okay? Because when I heard it, I didn't believe he actually said it, but he did, and we can see how this goes.
The Supreme Court hears oral arguments.
Oop, this is a little low. Let me turn this up for you.
The Supreme Court hears oral arguments to overturn Obamacare on November 10th. Once this new justice is seated, Obamacare is likely gone. And after that, Roe versus Wade. So I hope you enjoy carrying your rape baby to term. You can name it Jill Stein.
Look, did you? Oh no. Oh no. This is Chud. This is massive Chud energy. Yeah, and then he carries on. All that he could muster after saying a line like that is like, oh my. Can you imagine clapping for that? Imagine you're sitting there at a primetime television. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, Windows. Jeez. At a primetime television show. You're doing your thing. You're sitting in the crowd. You paid like $500 to be there because you're rich. You have no problems in the world, and you want to spend your afternoon watching a primetime TV show live with commercials and all, because they absolutely do nothing in between those commercial breaks. I'll tell you that much. Vibing, and then my dude is like, looks like Roe v. Wade is gone. I hope you enjoy your rape baby, you filthy degenerate. You can name her Jill Stein. Yeah. And then you all start like clapping. They're clapping. They're clapping. Lots of liberals want to bring up like blue MAGA, right? They say blue MAGA. And basically what that means is like a derogatory term for people who voted for Bernie Sanders. They're like, yes, the people who vote for Bernie Sanders and the people who vote for Trump are the exact same because they're both mean on the internet to people. Yeah, that's basically it. But it goes deeper than that, than just being mean. It's like being disconnected from reality. It's a sort of contempt, dehumanization for other people. That's in there as well. And there you find no greater of a case of dehumanization and disconnection from the real world experiences of other people, and the vitriolic hatred for others than people who watch people like Bill Maher, Rachel Maddow, like maybe even like Don Lemon and like Wolf Blitzer, people like that. When you say something as disgusting and grotesque as "I hope you enjoy your rape baby," you can name it after the person who ran against Hillary Clinton and got like 0.5% of the vote across the entire country. Was Jill Stein even on the ballot in all 50 states? Is that true? I'm not sure if that was even true, but like the Green Party, that's the one to blame. I mean, even if you look at it, what is it? Freaking Gary Johnson, the guy who was running on the right, like the Libertarian Party, he got 2 times the amount of votes. that that Jill Stein did. So I mean, did he help? Is he a mitigating factor? No one brings that up. They don't bring it up because they don't care. It's not about that. It's getting cheap dunk points, and the people who don't subscribe to their political ideology, not and have no care for why that is. You know, I mean, at the very least, when I dunk on like conservatives, I at least understand where they're coming from. Right? They could either be lied to, they could just be dumb, they could be experiencing some economic crises that lead them to believing the things that they do. Like there is some sympathy there, or at least understanding for why the things that they're going through. These people, they have no care at all for why someone may vote for Jill Stein. I don't think voting for third parties is, in this case, in this country, at this point in time, is a good thing to do. And I said it before and I'll say it again, because you lose. There is no winning when you vote for a third party here. You don't win, you lose. And even if you win when you vote for a third party, you always lose because you won't win. And here's what I mean by that. I mean by that as in, let's say there's a Democratic Party and then like the Greens. The Greens are doing well. The Greens are like, can actually unironically get more votes than the Democrats can. Well, you still have the right, if that's the case. And they're less likely to have like big third parties than the Republican voters are less likely to be more amicable to third parties than the Democrats are, because there's less political division between there, and they're way more likely to fall into line to consolidate power. That's what they care about, is power, right? So they're way more likely to consolidate. So let's say you split the vote between the Green Party and then the Democratic Party, and then the Republican Party is near completely unified. Even if there is like a big like libertarian on that side, you still lose, because you'll split the vote between people who are left of center, and then the right just carries on with their party, even though at their vote share, I mean, like, let's say like the Democrats and the Greens they get 60% of the vote, but then they split it, and then the Republicans get 40% of the vote. They'll always still win then, even though they get less votes combined. And even if like the difference between those two vote shares, like the popular vote shares, gets more and more drastic, you still lose. You'll always lose. You have to change the system entirely before you can start to move on with a valid and successful third party that could actually work here, right? That being said, this is not the way you can combat people like that. And I know for a fact a lot of the people who are like, never Biden, I'll never vote for Biden ever, they're using this as an opportunity to be like, oh, see, this is what they actually think of us. They're just dreaming about like rape fantasies with people who don't personally agree with them. And that's not true, all right? This is just these people. But I do still believe that voting for a third party is a bad idea. And if you don't care to vote for Biden in this election, you're not really I don't think that you're a comrade. I don't think that you're helping to get fascism out. It means any means necessary. Even voting for people like Biden, you have to do something. But these people, they're more content with crossing their arms and pretending like both things are exactly the same, and no position that you'll take will actually make things better for anybody. So it doesn't matter to vote. It's just massive nihilism just seeping out of every porous, and it's pretty cringe. I don't like it. With that being said, this is disgusting. This is a really bad take from people like Maher. That's gross. But it's nothing that I don't expect from someone like Maher.